I think I have found the best settings for Forza Motorsport if you have an RTX 3060 and a similar processor to the 5600. Basically a mid-range PC. The game looks graphically odd, inconsistent, bipolar. Sometimes it looks great, photorealistic, other times it looks mid, and maybe most of the time it looks horrible, honestly. You're not missing out for not being able to run it with ray tracing. The ray tracing looks noisy when moving, it looks inconsistent, it looks washed out, blurry. I mean, it probably looks better in terms of balance of quality and performance and looks when you have it deactivated. The weird graphics of this game probably stem from the awful car models. Some car models, especially the new ones, are okay, just okay. Some models may be good, but there's a ton of recycled models. Even from the first Xbox, the first Forza Motorsport, we are speaking of the mid-2000s. Before we start, since this was recorded on the same PC, the frame rate shown in the game is lower than it actually is in the gameplay. Don't pay much attention to it, it is usually very close to 60 or locked to 60. We are going to set the cube map to high. The cube map doesn't make any difference in low and ultra in terms of image quality, but I noticed that there's a difference between these settings that is not the quality. They use the wrong word for it. The difference between low and ultra is the frame rate. So once you are in the car in movement, you don't really focus on how smooth the reflections are, therefore high is a good setting. Ultra is 30 FPS, so it's already kind of low. Particle quality doesn't make any difference, at least that I noticed, when you set it to the lowest or highest. The burnouts, the sand, the dirt, and the rain particles, like when you are driving on the rain, look the same, so we can set this low. We are going to set the mirror reflections and the windshield quality to medium, because between medium and ultra or high, the difference is hardly noticeable, it is virtually the same, but once you reach low, you notice a drastic change. The window reflections look pixelated and the mirror looks awful. Ultra mirror reflection has a great drawing distance, low has a really poor drawing distance, medium and high are basically the same, but overall, even in ultra, it looks awful. The cars look bad, the track, the textures, the reflection, it looks off, so it doesn't matter if it's low or medium, honestly. You don't really care about how far from you the trees are, you want to see the cars. Shadows in ultra sometimes look great, other times look unrealistically sharp, and at times they look terrible. They look pixelated, too blurry sometimes, kind of inconsistent, but you can see that shadows in high save you some FPS, and at the same time they tend to look more realistic in the environment, because when the object is far from the ground, its shadow will cast softer. High setting, in contrast to ultra, sometimes emulates that, but ultra may look better in other situations when objects are closer. So in terms of performance and visual quality, high setting is the way to go here. Set DLSS to ultra quality DLAA, otherwise it will look either blurry or pixelated. Even with the car mode quality set at the highest, we can count the polygons of cars. This is Forza, unfortunately. But if you only care about your car's quality, you can set this setting to the lowest, because it will not affect your car, but only the other cars of the track, and save you FPS. But since the cars of the track already look ugly on ultra, it's optional if you care about how the other cars look, but personally I'm going to set it on ultra. Car livery quality must be in ultra, makes the difference in a bad way. Now I'm going to show the full settings for 2K resolution that I recommend. But first, make sure to have updated both the game and your graphics card drivers to the latest version. I recommend these settings, and I will explain why. You don't notice difference in the graphics, but you will be able to run it in normal gameplay at 60 FPS. When I run the benchmark that this game offers, the benchmark is filled with cars of CPUs, with reflections, rain. This is the result with the settings I'm recommending for 2K. But in reality, during gameplay, you are not under these circumstances that are so demanding, usually locked at 60 FPS, which is recommended for multiplayer with VSync. And finally, these settings for 1080p. And that's it, these are the settings that do not affect graphics negatively so much, and at the same time will give you a stable and decent frame rate for multiplayer and the overall single player experience. Let's hope Turn 10 updates the game for better optimization, because I get the game is new, but it doesn't look that great to require so much hardware, to be quite honest. Please leave feedback in the comments if you have suggestions to optimize the game's graphics and performance, and I hope these settings help.